Hello class, my name is Michael Breitz. I'm a 17-year-old dual enrollment student attending Lake Howell High School while completing my AA degree at Seminole State. So this class is a part of that. So my article was by Sharon R. Bird. It was Homosociality and the Maintenance of Hegemonic Masculinity. My learning objectives were to comprehend the relationship between straight men and straight women, to be able to define homosociality and the maintenance of hegemonic masculinity. So make sure that those are pretty big words and probably haven't heard those before. So make sure that you're able to know what those are, and if someone asks about it, you can. And then to analyze contributions of objectifying women. The three main points of hegemonic masculinity, which are objectifying women, men's competitive nature, and the lack of emotion, and men's lack of emotion. Those are three main points that you should be able to see how men act. The thesis was that Bird's main points discussed how homosociality or relationships among men leads to masculinity. Also, she talks about the states of masculinity is composed of three parts, consisting of lack of showing emotions, competitive nature, and objectification of women. Alright, so the first evidence that I have is the friendships between male and female, heterosexual, straight men, straight female. So this quote, I thought, really sums it up. It was a part of the article. It was an interview of just a guy, and this is what he said. When you're a boy, you hang out with other boys and do boy things. You do things like burn ants and stuff. You don't hang out with girls because you don't want to be a wuss. You don't play with dolls, whine, cry. You do boy things, guy stuff. So this guy is mainly, he kind of talked about that, he was talking about little boys and stuff. So 8, 9, that age you hang out with. It starts from a young age that straight boys hang out with straight boys, mainly because they have the same interest and stuff like that. It also talks about how if a male is friends with a female, that it can sometimes make him feel more feminine or look more feminine to someone from the outside looking in. And so mainly the only way that straight men and straight women act is when it comes to sexually. Besides that, men basically avoid women as far as friendships and stuff like that. My third piece was my second piece of evidence was being able to talking about defining homosociality and the maintenance of hegemonic masculinity. Homosociality is basically the non-sexual attraction between the same sex. So say I'm a straight male and I find how another man acts attractive, but I'm not attracted to him sexually. So I like the way he dresses, or I like how he carries himself, but it's not sexual. That's just a cool dude that I would like to hang out with, bond over sports, the same type of sports. So you're kind of attracted in a way that you want to hang out, but it's not obviously sexually. And then hegemonic masculinity is basically men asserting dominance over women. So basically men feeling that they are better than women and that they are that they're just kind of more superior to them. And then my third evidence, this one's talking about the three natures, the three main things of how men are perceived. It's their competitive nature, their how they treat women, and then their lack of emotion. So men are basically born competitive, and it kind of relates to and their competitive spirit kind of relates to the objectification of women, because men tend to compete for women, but they compete for them in a way that they kind of treat them as like an object. They don't really treat it like that woman as like a human being. They treat them like as like a prize or something. Like it's not like the best way that a woman should be treated. Men are typically men show don't show as much emotion to seem less vulnerable, to seem less weak and like more strong. So like if you show your feelings or emotions or about something, that's like a sign of weakness. So men tend to not do that because they don't want to seem weak, they want to seem strong. And that kind of relates to like when male female like relationship, that if men are ever like something is going on in the relationship that they don't like or stuff, they tend to like kind of distance themselves and to not really talk about it, because they don't want to show that like whatever's happening is a big enough deal to affect them. Like they don't want to seem like that it's affecting them. They want to seem strong. That basically men distance them. When men distance themselves from women, it shows that like, oh, we don't need you. Oh, like we're better off without you. That kind of stuff. So that's kind of like makes them seem more strong, I guess. So that's my evidence. And then applying ideas. These ideas kind of break down those three main points that I was talking about: competitiveness, sexualizing women, and the absence of emotions. So this first one is a scene. It's a volleyball scene from Top Gun, and it just shows how, and they're playing volleyball, which is just supposed to be like a fun game and stuff, but they take it very competitive and take it a little too far. The second one this is a video of a woman, just a regular woman walking around in jeans, regular shirt, everything, walking through New York City, and 10 hours, and she's basically getting catcalled by men, and men are like kind of like, I don't know, like degrading her or something. Like they just like, they find her pretty, so then they're trying to like get at her and stuff. They're not really, obviously they don't know anything about her. And then this video is it's a complication of Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation, and he's just kind of like if you guys know anything about the show, he doesn't show basically any emotion. Very straight faced. Doesn't matter what's going on. There's one scene like where one of the ladies is like leaving. I guess she's like leaving from the job, and everybody. So it's like a goodbye party, and she's like crying and stuff, and Ron's just staring at her straight face, and he was like there were some parts that we had that I enjoyed, but like he doesn't want to show emotion because he doesn't want to seem weak or anything like that. And then my discussion questions. So the first one, how does homosociality affect the workplace environment? So basically, how do straight men or straight women, either one, finding other straight men or straight women attractive in the workforce, how does that like affect? Does it make it work better? Is it worse? Or how does homosociality not affect? Either one. And then the second question, after reading the article, this article was written in 1996, and obviously our society has evolved and stuff. So my question to you guys is: do you think that Bird's three main points of hegemonic masculinity, which is the competitiveness, the objectification of women, and what's the last one? Did I say competitive, objectification of women, and lack of emotion? If that's still very accurate in 2020, or if it's not, do you feel like that those are still like three main characteristics of a man that's pretty typical of, or has that kind of changed for most? Okay, so that's my presentation, my PowerPoint. I know obviously not perfect and everything, but I hope you guys were able to learn something from this and that this was helpful to you guys. And yeah, thank you guys so much.